Happy 100s!
We had to break out the long Cecil B. DeMille version of the Open for our 100th show. I cannot believe that it's already been 100 shows. And just a quick recap to tell you where we've come so far.
Yeah.
Over 2.3 million views, 15,000 followers on YouTube. I think we surpassed 10,000 on Twitter.
Over 10,000. Also, you
Over
shortchanged
10,000.
us 100,000 views on YouTube. 2.4 and close to 2.5.
I thought I said 2.4.
You said 2.3.
We almost,
I did?
We close to 2.5.
Okay,
That's crazy.
2.4 million views,
Yes.
15,000 followers. To think that 100 shows ago that there was no Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show.
That's
so
right.
congratulations to all of you guys, all of our contributors that aren't here today. You know who you are. And, of course, the guys behind the glass. Without them, we're nothing, really.
They're working their ass off when we're doing other things.
They really are.
Yeah.
All day long. Director Steve, Mikey McNuggets, Anthony, Earl, many others, too many to name.
Yeah.
Yak from Channel 3. Steve is our executive producer in Atlanta. It's a host of men, a cast of many. And it's been fun. We had a lot of fun on these.
It's been a ton of fun. We've laughed more than anybody should.
No question.
You know, and
particularly yesterday.
Yes, and throughout the show today, well, really more towards the end of the show, the last half hour, we're going to be playing a bunch of clips, some of the best moments, and at the end, they're going to be running like, I don't know how long it is, 5 minutes?
It's 4 minutes, and let me tell you, it's very little sports content and a lot of us laughing at each other.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, that's what we do.
That's most of the best, like we've had some great sports conversations, but the funny stuff is always the things that people remember.
Absolutely.
We just want to say thank you guys, man. Thank you
Yeah.
for, supporting us. Thank you for, there's so many people that are just really, that tune in every single day,
Yep.
that are diehards, man. This was an experiment. We're 100 episodes in. And we couldn't have been here without the people that gave us a chance, gave us a try, and now are loyal supporters.
Yeah, so it's been one hell of a ride, and we're just getting started. On today's show, Sione Takitaki is going to be here, the
Yep.
Browns linebacker. Everybody's got questions about the health of the Browns as they go in to the Falcons game on Sunday. It's possible they could have 5 starters out. I don't know what it's looking like today, but as of yesterday, it looked like there were going to be 5 starters that missed the game. We'll see how that plays out. We'll talk to Taki about the matchup, about the season so far, and really about all the silly stuff that we talk to most of our guests about.
That's true.
Some of it will be football related, some of it won't. Aditi's going to join the program. She's going to give us her final thoughts as the Falcons and Browns draw near. Maurice Claret's going to be here momentarily. He's going to play Fence Riders with us, which is one of our favorite games for sure. And then we're doing 60 Ticks with Donovan Mitchell. We've done a Cavs player each of the last 2 days. Yesterday it was Isaiah Mobley. He was great. Today it's going to be Donovan Mitchell.
Tomorrow's Kobe Altman, too.
Oh, Cole, really? You did 60 seconds with Kobe Altman?
No, Brad did 3.5 minutes with Kobe Altman.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Serious stuff, right?
Serious stuff.
All right, because I would have loved to have seen the lighter side of Kobe
Yeah.
Altman.
We will get Kobe back.
Good.
I confirmed that my friend does know Kobe, so
Good.
we're now good.
Kobe's a great guy.
Yeah.
We got to
So
find
He's
out.
done an unbelievable job with this Cavaliers team. He really has.
If we get him on, we got to ask him if he knew it was me. Like I was on a plane. I don't know if I've told this on the air or off the air.
I think you told it on the air.
Oh, I did? But I'll remind you. I was on a small plane to New York with Kobe Altman, just coincidentally, and he was sitting like a seat or two in front of me. It was a pretty empty plane, and I just started puking in the middle of the plane. I was throwing up.
It seems to be what you do.
Yeah, that's
I'm a big
theme.
puker. Yeah.
That's
No, I'm actually
For
not
what
a generally.
reason were you?
Well, I get motion sickness on planes. I take Dramamine.
Oh, you do.
And
Okay.
usually with the Dramamine, I'm fine. But I don't remember what happened. Maybe I forgot to take it that time. Probably not. Just for whatever reason. Man.
Was it a scene where everybody was looking? Was Kobe looking?
I don't remember. I mean, I was throwing up, so I don't know if he was looking. But
Usually when people throw up on a plane, it's a scene.
it was pretty noticeable, especially because the plane. There was probably only like 20 people on the plane. It was pretty empty. So, and he was sitting like just a couple of seats in front of me.
Did you fill the bag?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
That gives a whole new meaning to the term, the bag.
The bag. That's not the bag you want.
No, that's not.
Did you see the clip of the woman at the Bengals game throwing up all over the
I
place?
saw that, yeah.
All over the way.
There's a woman in front of her in a neck brace. She's
Yeah.
Oh,
all over. All over. You know,
Oh,
now,
my
when I
God.
hear the word or I see anybody else do it, I will always and forever think of you.
Oh my God.
Forever, the
How
rest
could
of
you
my
not?
life.
How
Well,
could
it's
you
synonymous
not?
with puking. For
Now,
all
that
of us.
is not included in our montage, is it?
No.
No, for it was We'll get to it when we get to later in the show.
Oh,
but
that's
real
too
quick,
bad. That's the
before we
highlight
get-
of the show so far.
Before we get to fence questions, Maurice is ready, but
Yeah.
we've been here for 100 shows, and according to Anthony, his quick count, we want to give some love to the people who have tuned in. We think every show so far on our YouTube channel.
No.
That's Fry, Marcus Collins, the April, bass player 1966, Steve Lutz, NJC. There's probably some more. There's a quick look
Wait,
by
what's-
Anthony.
what
but
about-
How are you coming up with that just from people that are active in the
just
chat?
active in the chat?
Did you
Because I
mention
know a lot of people that watch
No
this
matter
don't
what.
even look at the chat.
Did you
These are
mention
people in
Eddie,
the chat
or did I
that-
miss
Okay.
you? Did I miss it? Eddie. What about Eddie?
Eddie's not in the YouTube chat, but Eddie does watch every day.
Oh,
There are
I know
other
he
guys.
watches
It's just from the
every day,
YouTube chat.
There are,
that
man.
we
I got to
click
tell
with,
you,
so.
the one thing that has surprised me the most about this, because when you start a new show, it does take time to get traction.
Yeah.
It really does. Most people I run into have no idea we're doing the show, which stuns me. It really does. It stuns me. I probably tell 20 people a week about the show and that we're on YouTube because they say, I watch the show. And I always say, which show?
Yeah.
What do you mean, which show? The show on Channel 3. And I said, I thought maybe you were talking about the sports show. What do you mean the sports show? You back in sports?
Yeah.
And then I have to explain the show.
I know, especially older fans. Although I'm getting more and more people tell you because at first I was saying, I miss you on the radio, and people still say that to me. But I always say, are you watching the TV show? And at first there was a mix, and now almost everybody is saying, yes, I am. I'm enjoying
Good.
it.
So
whatever.
they've found it. And
Yeah.
one of the hardest things to do in any format is to gain traction at the beginning.
Yes.
Particularly when you're on a platform that isn't widely used by everybody.
Right.
And we've done that. I mean, the fact that we have
Absolutely.
15,000 followers, and every day, our baseline number is we have 3,000 folks watching us every day.
That's
and
right.
On Monday of this week, it was close to 10,000. We've done
Yeah.
shows that have been 15,000.
Yeah.
And so the longer we go, the more traction we get, the bigger that audience gets. McNuggets, you wanted to throw something in? Or
We
you
just got to
wanna
get to
go?
fence questions. We gotta
Okay,
start. We gotta start.
Maurice
Here
on?
we go.
Maurice Garrett, happy 100, man. 100th show for the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. He's going Flyers
Happy
today.
100.
I always see him sitting perched in that stoop.
That's his spot.
Like that. That's his joint. The light. He's like, my lighting is good behind me right here.
Are you a Flyers fan, or was that a gift?
No, if you ever see me in anybody else's apparel, it means they paid me to come and speak to their team. So I proudly wear their logo.
Hey, that's fire.
So wait, so did you go to the Flyers, and if so, what did you tell them? How did that go?
Yeah, I went to the Flyers probably 2018 or 2019, and it happened because there was a gentleman. He was from Indianapolis. He was an attorney, and he wanted me to come to hang out. He's a football fan. The irony of this is he's a Michigan football fan who likes me, right?
Wow.
And he used to be his son used to play hockey for the junior leagues. The same people own the Pacers own a junior hockey team. So I went over and was talking to the hockey kids and just learning all about hockey, and kind of went to Chicago with them and went to the Cubs game and to those
Cool.
little seats across from the stadium. But make a long story short, he had knew somebody for the Flyers. And then I went to talk to the Flyers a few years back, and every time they come and play the Blue Jackets, I just know some of the same staff members, so I'll go down to the Blue Jackets game and watch the Flyers. I go to Blue Jackets, but I cheer for the Flyers. You know, so
Very nice, very nice. All right, McNuggets, are we ready for
Here
No
we
Fence
go.
Riders?
Let's rock. We got
Okay,
it.
do a
Question
quick
number-
explanation of the game. It's pretty self-explanatory.
It's-
McNuggets has 4, 5, 6 topics.
questions.
6 questions, and there has to be a definitive answer. There's no waffling. There's no maybe. It's either a yes or a no, an over, an under, whatever the case may be. So McNuggets, take it away. What's number 1?
Here's number 1, and as always, we'll let Maurice answer first, and we'll see how you guys did. Let's take it. Question number 1, will Jacoby Brissett post a triple-digit QB rating on Sunday? And for the record, his QB rating against the Steelers last Thursday, 109.6. Maurice, yes or no?
I'm going to say yes, and I'm with G. Bush. He's gradually gotten better. As he did a little bit better last week, I was listening to G. Bush in the back of my head. So I will say yes. Hopefully G. Bush said yes too, so I look good.
No, I done forgot. You know, I'm taking all my neck medication. I don't even know.
Well, let's see how you answered. And Maurice and G. Bush are on the same team. Will anyone join them on this side of the fence? The question is.
I'm not there.
Let me
The
see.
answer is.
There I did. I knew I
want you,
wouldn't
G. Bush.
disappoint here. Yes, indeed. Yes. Hey, Jason look at me side eye. He gave me that side eye. Look at him.
I mean, there's a
He
lot.
gave me that
There's a
side
lot of
eye.
things about the Browns situation that makes it advantageous for Jacoby Brissett to have more success here than he has in other places. I get that, but the bottom line to me remains he's still to me, you got to prove it every week because his history tells you he doesn't consistently play well.
That's why I'm a no. I think whenever somebody has a stretch where they're performing above their body of work, I always feel like there's going to be a regression back to the back to the average.
Right.
And I don't think he's going to be horrible.
No,
but I don't think 109. I think, like if he's got an RPM meter, that's redlining for him. And I don't know. I don't know that he can live there. I don't know that that's like suddenly after all these years in the league that this is the new Jacoby Brissett.
Well, let me explain.
I hope I'm wrong.
Let me explain why this is repeatable, right? Because obviously he has not played with the level of talent he's playing with now. You said something the other day, Bull. You asked, I think, Robert Smith, hey, if me and Mikey McNuggets was playing for Ohio State and in the backfield, could they still win a game? And Robert was like, you know what's kind of crazy? Sure, I think you might be able to do that. I'm going with that same premise right here. If I got Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt and they're perfectly healthy, I just got Jack Conklin back, and he played well the first game. He's only going to ramp up and get better. That means the protection's better. That means the run game is better. Now, Mari Cooper has some sort of he's comfortable with Jacoby Brissett, and everything he's doing, he's not throwing deep balls for 400 yards. He's throwing intermediate routes that's wide open, off play action. Why is that not replicatable?
Well, the thing is,
by the way, Gene just kind of compared Jacoby Brissett to me.
Well, no, that's right. That's where I'm going. So here's the thing. In the hypothetical that Adam posed yesterday to Robert Smith, the X factor was that McNuggets and Bull were running backs.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you say that the same logic applies, you just minimize the impact of the most important position in sports. If Bull was the quarterback for Ohio State, they're not beating St. Ed's.
Yes, they would. Easy.
Okay, that's probably an exaggeration.
Easy.
They're not beating Rutgers.
Yes, they are.
You're the quarterback.
I would just hand it off every play.
And they know you're going to run. After a while, they're going to stack the box.
All right, I'll throw a screen pass.
I see.
I went like this. I said, did you notice what I did? I said, I'll throw a screen pass. I went like this.
I see where he going with it. But here's the thing, Kevin Stefanski. Everybody that seems to play for him, they can be journeymen. They can not have an arm. They can have problems diagnosing defenses, and he makes them look pretty good.
But wait a second. How many quarterbacks have played for him here? Baker Mayfield, who we all said wasn't good enough. That's it.
He played well 1 year. Case Keenum played well 1 year.
The year that he didn't play well, he was also under Kevin Stefanski.
Yeah, so you got to take that. This is replicatable. I'm not going to say he had 109.
I mean, they are playing the Falcons.
Hey, let Maurice get in.
Sorry, Maurice, go ahead.
No, so on a serious note, I do tend to lean to G. Bush for that reasoning. I don't think they're asking him to do a lot. And when I saw Nick Chubb getting the role last week, and I just seen that they weren't asking him to throw 30, 40-yard balls down the field. I just think that he can manage a game. Like, he's not about to go out there and win it, which I wish he would do. But if you get those other guys rolling and you can just get him to throw between that 15 and 20-yard range and just your dink and dunks. And G. Bush, I tweeted you last week. You ignored me. My feelings were hurt.
By the way, how I said about that medication, that took place then too.
Okay. So, I just don't think they're going to ask him to do too much, but that's how you win with the Browns. Just do, these small dinks and dunks and let the running backs win the game for you.
I just want to point out, he did have quite a bit of talent in Indianapolis in 2019. When he took over for Andrew Luck,
the
and
cupboard
a team that was
wasn't bare.
probably going to go to the Super Bowl with Andrew Luck, or had decent.
He's never had the running back talent, obviously.
He had a pretty good team in Indianapolis. He went 7-8 as a start.
He had T.Y. Hilton.
Who was their running back that year?
I don't remember.
Marlon
Mack.
He sucks.
Hey, we
Go back and look at what they were saying about the Colts in 2019.
No, I know that. But I'm just talking about running backs. He didn't have this running back.
He didn't even take the team to a 500 record.
No.
So 7-8.
Yeah.
Okay.
Y'all ready for question number 2?
Number 2.
All right, let's take the question here, Steve. Question number 2. Will Cade York score more total points than Young-Ho Koo on Sunday?
What an absurd question that is.
Maurice.
Absurd.
Yes.
You're going yes?
He said yes?
Yes.
In the battle of kickers, let's see who Maurice is teaming up with. Steve, take it. You better knew it was going to be Jay. Of course Jay was taking that. Everyone else.
My dude's going to hit like 5 field goals.
But that's bad. That means you think the Browns are going to settle for field goals.
Yeah, I'm afraid they will. I'm afraid they will.
I'm actually with Jay on this one.
Yeah.
I think there'd be a lot of field goals.
I think the Browns are going to win. So therefore, I think just by virtue of them outscoring them, they're going to have more scoring plays.
I just think the Falcons are more likely to get stuck in the red zone, even with the Browns' defensive injuries, because I think the Browns.
Really?
Yeah.
Even if they're missing 5 starters.
I do, only because the Browns just have so much better of a running game. I think they'll be able to punch it in easier.
Yeah.
In those red zone situations.
And Kevin Stefanski, given his temperament, he's going to go for it anyway. If he close and it's 4th and 1, he's going for it.
That's
Anywhere
true.
on the goal line.
Right, that's true.
By the way, we were talking about we've been talking a lot about kickers on this show.
Yeah.
And you said kickers have to make their kicks. We saw McPherson last week miss either an extra point or a chippy, and we also saw Justin Tucker miss an extra point. And I, for a second, thought my television was broken.
McPherson?
Yeah, he missed one.
Bengals kicker?
Yeah, he missed one last week.
No, he didn't.
Look it up. I think he did.
I'm on it. Give me one
I thought
second.
he did.
He missed the
I
first
know,
go.
I know
For
Justin.
the opener, he did, right?
No, I
Yeah,
know
but-
he missed some big ones in the opener, but Justin Tucker missed an extra
Yeah,
point.
I saw that.
And I thought my television was broken. I mean, it happens.
Yeah,
It happens.
Especially now that they move back the extra point.
But
Yeah.
what's the point, though? I don't know.
McPherson did not miss an extra point.
No.
No. He missed a field goal, I believe.
He
Didn't
did miss a field goal,
Yeah.
yes.
He
yeah.
did last week?
Yeah, he was 2 for 3.
And it was
How
a
did I-
gimme field goal. It was one that he should have made, I thought.
I don't even remember that.
He missed, it was between 40 and 49 yards.
Okay.
So not a crazy
no, that's not a gimme
Was it
by any
wasn't
stretch.
blocked or something? I don't
No,
remember.
he
I was
just
watching
missed
the
it. And I
game.
just remember thinking, I have at least said the AFC North has the best kickers. Then you had that Bengals Steelers game where nobody wanted to win because nobody could make a kick.
In
And I know
fairness,
the long snapper.
the
for
long
Cincinnati
snapper was
gone.
bad, 2 bad
But I only
snaps.
bring that up as we're talking about Cade York.
Yeah.
As Pete, they miss. The kickers miss. The best kicker in the world misses, and it happens. So let's hope he doesn't miss any more PATs, Cade York. But okay, what's number 3?
Number 3, this is a split one. We had a lot of splits here, Steve. Let's take question number 3. Very simple. Will Myles Garrett play on Sunday against the Falcons? As we all know, he was injured in a car crash on Monday. His status is still TBD. Maurice, will the Browns have number 95 in uniform when they take the field against Atlanta?
Yeah, so I'm personally split. I want to say no, and it has more to do with the liability. I would think that there has to be some medical practitioner or somebody within the Browns organization that wouldn't allow him to do that after a car wreck, in fear that if something else happened, like it could be blamed on that. I don't know. That's just my guess, but I would imagine the He-Man part of Myles wants to go out there and wants to suit up and play and let everybody know that the car wreck didn't do that much to him. So I'll say no, just because I think legally they'll so there has to be some sort of like medical opinion to keep him off the field. I don't know, just my personal opinion.
So Maurice says no. One of us said yes. The other 4 said no. Let's see who's the lone yes here.
Yes.
G.
It's
Bush.
Jason.
But Jason's the one that's most plugged in. Jason,
No, I don't have anything.
Do
on this
tell.
one. I don't have anything on this
Okay,
one.
okay.
It's just a gut guess.
It's a gut.
I just think he's going to play. I think he's lucky, obviously, to walk away from it. I was joking. We were not joking, but we were talking before the show. I was talking to my son about it, my 12-year-old son AJ, about it when I told him about the wreck, and he said, "What car was he driving?" And I said, "A Porsche." And he said, "I can't believe he fits in a Porsche."
Yeah.
And I actually think that helped him.
It may have.
The fact that there's probably not a lot of jostling going on in the car, I think he's okay, and I think he's going to want to play. And I think because of some of the other injuries they have, I think he'll play.
Yeah, he has to. I mean, he doesn't have to play, but it's very important that he does.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of news on Myles Garrett, too.
Yeah, we
the
should touch
Ohio
on that.
Highway Patrol actually has cited him now for excessive speed. They're saying that he was traveling 65, the speed limit was 45, and also failure to control, which obviously, when you look at this car, so I guess what happened was he swerved off the road, went into a ditch, hit a fire hydrant, and then started rolling. So when you take all of that into account,
It's remarkable.
it is remarkable.
I mean, I'm sure we've all driven 65 and a 45 at times, but it was raining.
It's remarkable. What science do they have to say that you were going
Well,
this speed limit rather than this speed limit?
There are
the skid marks.
Yeah, a lot
and
of
they can
things.
measure.
And if he swerved, there may not have been skid marks, but they could figure out how far the car traveled once it left the road before it hit the ground. There's a lot of things they can do, but also there is a science, G. Bush. Most of your newer, higher-end cars, and I'm not saying that they've accessed this information already, because you may have to get a subpoena to do that, but I remember when Tiger had his wreck, they just tapped in. It was a Kia. they tapped into his telemetry on the car. When I take my car for service, they can tell me they know if I'm driving too fast. It records everything. When your check engine light comes on, it's been on since mile 3,100 or whatever. So there's a computer in there that could most likely tell them exactly how fast he was traveling.
This sorcery.
In the seconds before the crash.
What wizardry is this?
Yeah, I know.
These guys is getting you on everything.
Now, I don't know how they determined that it was 65.
Yeah.
That may have been the calculus that they used based on how far the car traveled. And
Can't get clean water half the country. The roads are falling apart.
Yeah.
But they're working on the calculus of how
and we're
far.
shooting asteroids out of the sky. We can't get clean water.
I mean, they have to do this for insurance purposes a lot of times. So yeah, they have accident reconstruction experts that can do all of that stuff.
Oh, the insurance companies put all they.
right.
I'm
Yeah,
sure
they're not
they got
paying
some
out.
people.
And
They
real
paying
quick,
that.
Can you imagine, by the way, what his insurance rates are? We did the story yesterday on Channel 3, and I know others reported it as well, that he's been pulled over or cited 6 times for speeding since 2017. The remarkable thing to me, and I'm not going to judge. I, too, have had 2 tickets this year. On the same video surveillance spot. You got pulled over today?
I should have been.
Oh, you should have. Well, here's
He was sitting right there. I don't know what he was waiting for.
I don't want to sound too preachy because I like to drive fast too. But what really got me was he received 2 citations within a 24-hour period, and both of them he was driving in excess of 100 miles an hour.
Yeah, that's kind of
Now,
crazy.
I don't know how you do that on the same day. You would think that the lesson after the first one would sink in for at least a day.
He only
Go
gets the
to
fines. He's got
Go to the Autobahn in Germany and get your money on,
I know.
dog.
Yeah,
All right,
don't-
Mikey, we got to keep it
and
moving.
be
Go ahead.
careful. Be
Myles
careful.
will address the media tomorrow. It's his normal day to talk.
All right.
And the
All right,
Browns are
great.
saying he will talk tomorrow.
Awesome. McNuggets.
Awesome. Number 4. Will David Njoku have more receiving yards than Kyle Pitts? Maurice.
Okay.
Hey, I'm going to say yes. I know I think G. Bush was bad on him last week. I don't know. I remember, but I'm going to say yes. I like what I seen last week.
Yeah.
This was a 2-2 split on our panel. Maurice
this was
is
tough.
the deciding factor. Let's see who Maurice is siding with and who will be right.
There we go.
It was close. This was so close.
Yeah, I went back and forth on this one too.
I did too.
Because they have not. The Falcons have not got Kyle Pitts the ball.
No.
At all. For the first 2 years he's been there.
Well, he hasn't got any touchdowns. Yeah, but they haven't thrown. I mean, he's their best player. They should give him the ball
just
more.
hasn't. They have not
But-
force-fed it to him.
Right, but David Njoku's never consistently he's never had good back-to-back games.
No, he is not.
Yeah,
So I mean, it's a new quarterback. I get it, but
Go ahead, Maurice.
No,
Yeah, Maurice.
but you have to take into account if you have Kareem Hunt, Nick Chubb, and they have success, right? You have to ask yourself, what would that dictate from next week's defense? Amari Cooper is going to occupy and be on a defense's radar to put their strength towards him. So just in the progression, he's going to get more targets. That's my thing. And then I think like with players early on in the season, you get some confidence, you get some catches. Like things start to feel better. I even think that's what Jacoby Brissett is going to build on. Like, hey, I don't have to go out here and be a superstar and we can win. I have a great kicker that if I can just get us in field goal range. And I don't know. I'm still like eternally optimistic about the Browns, but there's just things that I see that happen that if I'm a defensive coordinator, we're saying, hey, we're going to make Jacoby Brissett and Njoku beat us. We're not going to let Amari Cooper and Nick Chubb beat us. Which means you'll have like the third best defender or a linebacker, guarding this guy, and he just may get better targets. That's sort of like my thinking behind it. I think that's why he's had success now.
Yeah, that's sound logic. I mean,
everything Maurice says makes sense. My only theory in this game and why I went with Pitts is that I am convinced that because of all the injuries the Browns have on defense, they're already obviously a run-first team right now without Deshaun Watson. But I think it's going to be extreme this week. I think they're going to I think they want to run clock. I think they want this game to move fast to keep their defense off the field. And so because they're going to run a ton, I think Njoku will be blocking a lot in this game, which we've seen other times, including the Carolina game.
We saw that. Week 1. We saw Njoku in blocking a lot, but I don't know. I tend to think that they sort of figured some things out last week with Njoku. I think this was the plan all along. That's why they gave him the contract. And Jacoby Brissett, the one thing I'll say about him is he is in that Case Keenum mold to me of a guy who he's gonna make the read. He's gonna make the play. He's gonna make the play. It's in front of him. He's not gonna try and save the play call, the line I've used before, like Baker did in the past. He's going to take what's given to him, and I think David Njoku is one of those options that'll probably be there.
Yesterday, our fantasy guy said that he felt that the Steelers' defense was perfect for Njoku to have a huge game. There was a lot of stuff that was open over the middle. The reason I drafted Njoku on my fantasy team, and here's why. I just feel like he could be the X factor in this offense all year.
Yep.
You've got a quarterback who you know isn't going to throw deep a lot. I know he took the one deep shot last week to Amari. He tried another one. Amari was out of bounds, and it was incomplete because of it. I just think he's going to be looking for the underneath stuff, the easy gimme stuff. Yeah. And I think Njoku's
I agree. I think he's going to have good games. I just don't feel like this game is going to be one of them.
Okay.
We'll see.
Question number 5. This is the lone unanimous question.
Oh.
Will there be more total passing or rushing touchdowns on Sunday?
No, I thought this is easy as well.
I did too.
I don't think it's that easy.
It's not.
I'm going to
Thank you, Maurice.
Yeah.
He just wants validation.
right.
He wrote
I'm
a
going
good
to say
question.
passing. No, I'm
Thank
going
you.
to say passing. I'm going to say passing.
Maurice is alone.
Well, yeah, I'm going to defend Maurice.
So I can give logic behind it. Like, so I just don't believe that I don't believe that Atlanta's going to say, hey, man, they're going to do everything to stop Nick Chubb, to stop the offense. They're going to do everything to stop Kareem Hunt. The only way, so I remember, even when I was playing for the team in Omaha, the game became, hey, man, let's not run the ball. Let's do these 5-yard outs. Let's do these quick slants. Let's do these hitches. Let's do stuff like that mimics run plays to get you 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 yards. And I think that's what the Browns will do, but I also think that's what Jacoby Brissett is good at. I just think I think that's the Cleveland Browns. I think, if they can live within a space of, hey, we're going to go old school offense, getting 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, maybe 15 yards. I think that's how we win. But I think more passing touchdowns than running touchdowns will be had.
Was this close for you guys? Did you guys struggle with this one?
I tend to agree with Mike and Maurice. I don't think it's a slam dunk because, you get down a 3-yard line, you run play action, you get easy touchdowns.
Yeah, you never know.
It's not easy. The ones that always look most obvious are the ones that rarely come true. So I don't think this is.
This one did look obvious to me.
I didn't think it was obvious either. I agree, but in the end, I went with running, which we all did.
I took it as combined, combined rushing touchdowns versus combined passing touchdowns.
Right? Yeah.
And so
That's what the question was.
Marcus Mariota can scramble. There's always a key for that.
And both teams are run first team.
And both teams are run first team.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, that's a no-brainer.
Yeah, I thought it was too.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
Can I give you my 2 cents on how I came up with that question?
No.
I think. Well, I'm going to do it anyway because I have the money.
Big Nuggets did.
And no,
Big Nuggets did that
this
to
is,
me
I'm glad
yesterday.
that you picked up on this, but without Myles Garrett, if he doesn't play, without Clowney, his status up in the air, without Walker, without Joker, I think there's going to be a lot of opportunities to throw on this defense, and you take 1 or 2 passing touchdowns from the Browns. I think there's 1 or 2 from
and
Atlanta.
without those guys, there'll be a good opportunity to run, which is what they're better at.
Oh, I'd run that.
I just think both teams are built to run it, and therefore I think they're going to.
By the way,
they're going to run it.
Jadeveon Clowney is maybe the best run-stopping defensive end in football. It hurts the run game even more than the passing game when he's out.
Oh, they have nothing up front. For
No,
this
nothing.
game.
Nothing.
If Myles Garrett don't play, I'd run the ball 40 times.
G-Bush, have they called you yet?
They should.
They did.
The neck?
I was on the medication still.
Yeah, so you missed that call?
I missed that call, too.
You guys ready for the last one?
Yeah,
one.
throw it our way.
And this one is not unanimous. Steve, go back or forward 1. We got to get to the next question here. Let's pull it up. Yep. Nope. Next question. Next one. Yep. No, we got you. Don't worry. 100th show. We're still finalizing some practice.
It's okay, man. It's okay.
Yes.
McNuggets was here, and he screwed things up.
There we go. No, it was in there. The question is, will Nick Chubb have more total yards than Cordero Patterson on
I believe it's Cordero, by the way.
is
Everybody's
Cordero.
saying Corderell,
Yeah,
but
it
it's
is
Cordero.
Cordero.
Yeah.
More total yards, receiving and rushing.
Yeah, I would say yes. I think he has his confidence right now. I'm saying yes.
Okay.
Let's see how everyone else answered. Someone's on an island here.
Yeah, this was a tough one. Jason is alone. Hey,
I almost went no, too.
Well, because
I'm used to
Cordero
being
Patterson's
on an
much
island.
bigger in the passing game than Nick
Absolutely.
Chubb
Yes.
is.
Yeah,
he's a big key to their passing.
I think it's going to be very close.
I think Nick Chubb breaks a long one.
Yeah, I think he's going to have a big game.
He's due for one of those Nick Chubb, where he doesn't look like
He's
moving
almost
fast.
done that a couple times this year.
I
He
think
is 1 or
both-
2 tackles from doing that, and
Yeah.
he's on turf. Back at home, I think he gets about 155 yards.
I think so too. I think he's going to have 175 all-purpose, and I think Cordero Patterson will have about like 150 to all-purpose. I think they're both going to have big games. But
this is a tough. Maurice, I'm curious for your thoughts on this. Cordero came into the league as a wide receiver and a kick returner. Have you ever seen a guy transform from wide receiver to running back and do it as effectively as he's done it? He's averaging, I know it's early, it's 3 games in, but he's averaging 100 yards a game, and he's reinvented himself as a running back, really.
I've never seen it, but you can say in today's game now, you can see how it happens. More of these guys are H-backs, and I think that people are trying to reproduce what Deebo Samuel does out in San Francisco. Right. So they bring somebody in who's you know how it is, like we've all seen them grow up where you have a guy who he's too big to become an X wide receiver, so he should move a tight end, right? And you have guys who struggle with that. Then the guys who do well with that, they do well with it, right? And then you'll have guys who will be like H-backish, and they're too big to get in and out of the break. So you may have just personnel. You'll have more personnel with wide receivers, and they'll be better used at running back because they can get to the edge faster. You can create a bunch of mismatches. So I've never seen it done, but this is like the evolution of football. People try things out, and more people may just pick up on it later on and say, hey, man, let me get a heavier wide receiver who just may be good with jet sweeps and outside zones. You don't really need them with inside zones, or you can create different matchup issues in a slot with linebackers. And that's all they're doing.
Yeah, it is more interchangeable now.
By the way, Antonio Gibson of the two guys on the Commanders. Antonio Gibson was a wide receiver in college.
Right.
He's playing running back. And Curtis Samuel, of course, was a running back with the Buckeyes.
Yeah. Yes,
he's playing wide receiver, but this year they've used him at running back a little bit.
Yeah.
A little.
It's just the flexibility and being able to use these guys in different ways.
Right.
It certainly increases a player's value.
Yeah.
A running back that can catch balls out of the backfield is worth more.
No, but you have to have an offensive coordinator who knows how to use this guy, right?
That's right.
To just say you throw a guy in and say, hey, I have a package, but I'll tell you like this. You have a lot of people who coach in the NFL or at collegiate levels. They're just not they're not the most smart guys. They just have an opportunity, right? But learning how to use personnel is everything. And learning, getting these guys reps to be comfortable doing that. Most wide receivers aren't used to contact across the middle, or, defensive ends becoming unblocked, and, these guys get knocked, you can get knocked pretty hard. You can get jarred around, or, picking up a pass block. But, understanding personnel and understanding what you're trying to accomplish is huge. But for those who figure it out, you create different matchup problems, and then, a kid gets confidence and, he goes out there and becomes successful.
Absolutely. Before we let you go, final score and who wins?
Cleveland. And I'm with, I don't know who said he's going home, but I was almost right there at the time, so I'm going Browns 35, and we're going to go 14 to the Falcons.
Wow, a blowout win.
No, but the Browns have been – I'm telling you, the Browns are better than – the Browns have things to work on, but I'm telling you, if you can just keep – and I know we have defensive issues this week with injuries or possible injuries of people being out, but if you can just keep Jacoby just – if you can make him do what Craig Krenzel did for us back in 2002 – and that's just manage a game and let the running back open up stuff for you. You can have a great team, but defense you can't. When you have a bunch of defenders out, that's kind of tough. But I still believe that the Browns have been building on a lot, and I think it's psychologically to beat the Steelers. I think that's something for the Cleveland Browns themselves to say, hey, we beat these guys. No matter if they didn't have Ben Roethlisberger or not, we still beat them, and that helps to build something. I think internally.
Yep, absolutely. All right, thanks. 35-14. I think that would surprise me for sure, but I hope you're right.
Thanks, Maurice.
Maurice, have a great weekend. We'll see you next week.